You got it popping now? Okay. Dallas Cowboy true fans, right? What? Does it still got the Sean Lee? Okay, there it is. I found it. There it is. Just popping. Yeah, and I don't feel like I said it was annoying. I was annoyed most of the night, but when I woke up in the morning and I evaluated and I looked at everything and I watched everything, I said, you know what? I don't feel so bad now. I like what we did. I'm just want to be some of these other teams so these other people just shut the hell up for real.
Hey, Bobby peeps that No Limit in the background, that remix. Wait till you hear that thing, OG.
I'm gonna love it, especially if it's some old No Limit.
Yeah, it's a little remix to that No Limit. I felt like after that game we need to put a little something hard on. Yes, sir. If you in this thing, make sure you share, like, comment. We about to get this thing rolling. What's up, Gambino?
Gambino! I love that name. Gambino. He just seems like he don't mess with him. Gambino just says, don't mess with that. That's the clan.
If you hear Gambino, you figure something going on with the mob.
You know what I mean? He about to get took.
About to disappear.
Like, hey, I'm gonna have my man Gambino holler at you.
Yeah, Angel said he heard that make him say, that's what it is. It's make him say, remix John.
Oh, okay. So, I know I'm gonna like it now, then. Make it say,
Sav in the building. This what happens when you go on a little streak. You feel good. You play some good music. You feel good. Yes, sir. All right, let's get into this thing. All right, we cut DJ D-Rec. Cut the beat. What's going on, DC True fans, Cowboys Nation? Coming off of this, I don't know how to explain it. It's impressive in a way, but in another way, it's like, hey, we got stuff to work on. But listen, you get a road victory against a division rival when your backs is pretty much against the wall because Philly won. So you lose this game, you drop down, and we saw the percentages of getting into the playoffs. If we lose this game, it drops to like 30-something. You win it, you're above 60. So, listen, man, at the end of the day, it was an impressive win in the sense that we came back from adversity. But let's talk about, first of all, shout out to everybody in here. You know what I mean?
Shout out.
Go ahead, man. Shout them out. Go ahead. Shout everybody out in here.
Well, no, I'm getting everybody sharing because I'm still sharing. But shout out to everybody that's jumping in. Bobby McLean, Save a Five, Gambino as usual, Vondale Jackson. That's my dog, Lisa Ornelas. I hope I said it right. I apologize if I didn't. Please don't slap me, beat me up. Don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm just still learning. But just like you said, to me, it was an annoying victory. That's what I'm gonna call this win. It was an annoying victory. I was annoyed most of the night. Super annoyed. Not because we were just once again shooting ourselves in the foot. Once again, just beating ourselves. And it was just a situation. It's just a situation where you're like, man, come on, y'all. Like, we know better by now.
Well, let's talk about what started the annoyance. What's up, Chris? He says, good evening, everybody. Dustin, man, we got a lot of folk in the building. We appreciate y'all.
What's up, Chris Jenner? What's up, baby?
If y'all support, make sure you guys share, like, comment. We appreciate all the support, guys. We got a Victory Tuesday. Let's give our Victory Tuesday takes here. But let's start with what made the game kind of annoying, right? The very kickoff. Opening
Tony Pollard.
kickoff. A lot of people want to start with the Dak Prescott pick, which I'll get there in a second. But to me, I told my mans when I'm watching this game, I said, dog, that's a rookie mistake, man. That's a rookie mistake. And then because guys, if you guys saw what he tried to do, this is what Tony Pollard tried to do. He wanted to step out of bounds and touch the ball at the same time, and that would advance the ball to the 40-yard line for an illegal procedure. Okay? But he touched the ball first and then grabbed it and stepped out of bounds, and that started the drive on the 11-yard line. I mean, did that play right there kind of annoy you?
That super annoyed me because I'm sitting there thinking, here we go again. I was singing DMX, here we go again. I was rapping the song. And but I understood the thought pattern, okay, this is a kickoff, so I can't let this bounce. I can't let the threat of this bouncing because this is a live ball. So I think that's what in his head he was thinking. That's why the decision was, I don't know what to do, because he didn't want to make that big turnover and them getting the ball, So I understand his thought pattern, but at the end of the day, it still annoyed me.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you for the attempt.
Mad, but you annoyed me. You annoyed me, TP.
Right. Well, that wasn't the end of it for him. That wasn't the end of it in that first quarter.
Lord, that screen pass.
So then we start at the 11-yard line, and already right there, I'm like, all right, here we go. And the very first play, we run a half-hearted RPO where the design was trash, guys. It was really trash. I wish I didn't bring the play up, and I should have. I apologize for that. The play design was a half-hearted RPO with Michael Gallup on a slant, and for whatever reason, we had Mari Cooper running in the same area. And Dak didn't see Antoine Bethea, or if he did, he looked right through his ass, and he throws it right into the Antoine Bethea's chest. Interception, first play. It was literally the exact opposite of what DeMarcus Ware did about 10 years ago to Eli Manning on the very first play of the game, where he picked him off in the red zone. And that threw me. It was beyond annoyed. It was pissed off now. Now pissed off. Back-to-back plays like that. Fortunately, the theme of the night, the defense stepped up.
Right. The defense stepped up, and like you said, after I seen that first one, I said, man, come on, dog. Here we go. And I was yelling right then. I was mad. I was yelling. I said, this is not what we need, especially this bummy Giant team. But to our credit, the defense, and they've been doing this even last year. This was our saving grace. People forget that when we played the Texans and we played the Eagles, we had those guys had us inside the 5-yard line. We stopped them on 4 downs, not just 3, kicking the field goal, 4 downs. So we were really good in that red zone, especially inside that 10-yard line. That defense got real stingy, and we've been seeing it stingy this year as well. So that was the saving grace. We saw a lot of field goals instead of touchdowns, and that was huge. But to come out of there with 3-0, in those where it could have been disastrous. Could have been disastrous start, and then you're already climbing out of a big hole. So coming out 3-0, starting out on their 11, they're starting out on our 11-yard line. That was okay, let me calm down a little bit and let's see what goes from there.
You know what gives me kind of pause when we make those kind of mistakes, man? If you guys can get a chance to go back and look, go watch Dak Prescott's demeanor, man. This guy's not fazed. He just doesn't get fazed off of anything that happens during the game. He's on the sideline. He's fine. He's trying to warm up. He's like, yo, my bad. That's my fault. I mean, he's not sulking. He's not his head down. He's not Cam Newton. Okay, he's not the type that's going to fall flat on his face when he faces adversity. This guy rises. And my man, if he's watching this, Russ, he defined this game perfectly. The cream rises to the top. That's what happened in this game. We started off, we struggled. Now, after that possession, interception, bad kickoff, they scored 3 points. The very next possession, Dallas gets the ball, and they do what we all thought they should be doing, and they drive the ball all the way down to inside the red zone. And here's where it got frustrating for me. You get a phantom holding call on a beautifully designed play and or play breakdown from Randall Cobb and Dak Prescott. I mean, if you go look at the play, Dak steps up in the pocket. He shuffles, waits for Cobb to break open, touchdown. And we get one of those phantom Tyron Smith domination holding calls. What was going through your mind when you saw that replay?
Man, daggone it, man, Tyron. When I first, my first thought was, come on, Tyron. This is and I seen a tweet earlier today. I don't know if you saw in the tweet. Tyron Smith is called for the most holding, non-holding calls. You know what I'm saying? Like when you always go back and look at the tape, you're like, that wasn't a hold. And when you went back and looked at the tape again, when I looked at it this morning, I'm like, come on, for real? Y'all really called that? Here I am yelling at Tyron Smith at the TV. Here I am saying, man, come on, Tyron. You got to stop doing that. You a beast. You a monster. But how come we can't nobody talk about you with these holding penalties? So at that point, I was just super mad because we take it all the way downfield after making a mistake, get in position, great play, great pass. Dak took his time. Boom. Touchdown. I'm like, there we go. And then I'm like, man.
Bring it back.
I'm sitting there thinking like I'm already over this mess already.
Listen, I was the same thing. I was like, come on, Tyron, this is every game now, that we're getting this type of penalty until I saw the replay. And I'm sitting there like, come on, refs. This you have to know. You have to watch tape. I'm pretty sure the referees watch tape, right? They have to watch tape and know that Tyron is he's a grown-ass man. He manhandles these guys out there. He throws them around like rag dogs. And
when he puts his hands on them, Skywalker, when he puts his hands on them, they don't move. Like, it is crazy to me to see other big dudes, him just grab them and they go nowhere.
Dustin said it's because he's so strong. Dustin, he may be the strongest left tackle in the game. I mean, he's
built like a Greek god.
He's an unbelievable talent, man, and there's really people talking about move on from this guy. Please. The dude,
yeah, I made a tweet and somebody said smack yourself for that one, and I was like, maybe only if he was at the end decline.
I'm gonna smack him for you, yo.
Yeah.
Put your hands out.
Yeah, you sent me the tweet as well when you was like, hell no, you gave me the Chris Tucker Friday. Hell no.
Yeah,
I didn't.
The Jets were talking about they wanted Tyron Smith. He's like, maybe Tyron. I'm like, no. I
said maybe. That means probably like 5%.
Now I'm gonna give you the Justin Timberlake meme.
Come on, dog. I didn't say I would do it. I said maybe think like a split second, only because of the back injuries, the age. Now you've been in the league a long time, hurt every year. That's it. Okay. I didn't say that. I'm sorry, Tyron. I didn't say I will ever move on from you. I'm sorry.
Let me nix Gambino's question right now. Gambino said, do you guys think after this season we'll trade Tyron and try to get some job? No. I'm going to just keep it simple, Gambino. No.
They won't do it.
Or as my man from My Wife and Kids, Dad? No. Not happening, brother. No, love you, Gambino, but we ain't trading him.
No, they ain't trading him. No time soon.
So after that Phantom call, which was ridiculous. I believe before that, Dak dropped the ball. One of those, I think, might have just had too much jitters. I don't know. He dropped the ball. It is what it is. That was another mistake, and it was feeling like that kind of game again. And then we're like, all right, let's bring TP in here. What were we saying over the last few weeks?
Play him early. Don't wait till the fourth quarter. Don't wait for 3 or 4 plays to just give Zeke a break. Play this man. That's what we've been talking about. Play this man.
And they did, and I'm happy about it. I don't care. He struggled on a couple plays, but that is what you need to do. You don't need to wait until Ezekiel Elliott is tired and limping off the field or gets that 4th possession where he gets all the carry. No, mix them two in and out. And I get it. He lost the ball in the air, right? He lost the ball in the air on one play, and then this is the play that followed the phantom holding call, and it was the drop screen that would have been a touchdown. That play annoyed me probably more than anything that happened up to that game, even more than the interception, because that was a touchdown with no flags. That's just a pure drop. And at that time, to me, I started thinking, all right, guys, this is game number 6 out of 7 that we are coming out extremely slow, extremely undisciplined, and on the road, we're coming out turning the ball over and making crucial mistakes. And what did we say a couple weeks ago? This offense on the road looks night and day in the first half. And that's exactly what was happening. I would advise you guys to go back and look. The Saints game, fumble, had like 3 points in the first half. The Packers game, that was on the road. I was on the home. The Jets game, they just went up and down the field. 4th down basically was a turnover. We couldn't score. We couldn't do crap in the first half. And then in this game, same thing. Drop passes, incompletions, turnovers, and penalties. what is it about this offense coming out in first halves on the road? Do you see something here, or is this just a lack of discipline and focus?
I think it's just a lack of focus. Honestly, I just really think it's just a lack of focus. I mean, even when you seen Randall Cobb when he had the fumble late, I think it's just the lack of focus. You can't. That's something in my head that you just can't pinpoint on of what is actually happening with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of a weird thing to me that is happening to us because, as you said, it's not like we're not moving the ball up and down the field. It's not like we're getting a lot of 3-and-outs. We actually are moving the ball, but once again, we shoot ourselves in the foot with an inopportune or in bad penalty. We'll get a 15-yard gain. I'm gonna just tell you right now. Every time I see get us a long gain, I'm looking for the yellow flag.
Facts.
I'm looking
every time.
Anytime we get any long gain, especially like if it's a run, I'm already looking. Where's the flag? Where's the flag?
This has been me for the last probably decade with this squad, to be honest with you. And then listen, the referees were absolutely terrible all game. I mean, I don't want to get too far off, and we'll continue to talk about what happened further on in the game. But Will Hernandez, what the hell?
Man, a lot of people are talking about because he mad because he didn't get drafted by us. I mean, when I did a
that
Coach
ain't even
J
the point.
film day,
how did he not get a flag?
I don't know, dog. He was tripping all game. Like I said, man, he was feeling some kind of way. And then the Mighty Quinn had to go over there and smack him up a little bit and get his mind right. You know what I'm saying? But he was feeling some kind of way all game long. Maybe they just getting tired of them Cowboys running through him and smacking him. I mean, that is 6 straight, ain't it?
It's 6 straight. By the way, 6 straight against them. I think 5 out of the last 6 against the Redskins and 4 straight against the Eagles. Dak Prescott runs the goddamn East, bro. The Cowboys run the East right now.
I know, and they don't like it. I told you, I was talking to my friend today, and he's a Redskin fan. Oh, well, our whole division sucks. Yeah, that is just your excuse of why we are smacking you guys. It's not our fault you guys suck. But what we're doing, what we're supposed to do. Eagles, 4 straight. Giants, 6 straight. Redskins, 3 straight. I mean, I like it.
And let me touch on what Hawks said. Hawks, he was being sarcastic, saying, "Don't you know that's the unprepared way? That's Jason Garrett's way." It feels like that. It feels like, and we say this all the time, right? We pretty much know how this team is going to play because that's their MO. It's in their DNA. But that's not a good thing. This doesn't make us confident when you know what we're going to come out slow every single game. And
do that against these other teams.
Absolutely cannot. Absolutely cannot. Let me run down here real quick. Dustin says coaching, not focus. I agree. I believe a lot of this is coaching. Lack of focus by Gambino. My man, Jay Frost. What's up, Jordan? He said, yeah, Jarwin has a burst explosion off the line that makes linebackers and DBs get in their back pedal faster than they will. Great breakdown, Jordan. Listen, man.
We don't see Blake Jarwin. That's a bad word.
Yeah, you definitely
don't say that's a cuss word.
You mentioned on Twitter he had 20% of the snaps.
I mean, what I was saying was they came in the season talking about Jason Witten was only going to do 20% of the snaps. He wasn't going to be in the field all game, and we knew that was a lie from the daggone beginning. We knew that was a lie. Jason Witten was going to play, and he was going to play all daggone game, and he gets a pass because he's Jason Witten. But at the end of the day, we need somebody who can stretch the field, not somebody who can catch it and go down and get 3 yards. We need yak. That's what Dak is good at. Yak. Those two, yak.
I had 3 keys to the Cowboys getting better internally that I posted on Twitter, and one of them was with Jarwin. It was Jarwin playing more than Jason Witten, and for obvious reasons. At this point, do we have to talk about me? Just throw on the tape.
I mean, dog, and see, here's the thing. Mickey Spagnuolo, and you listen to him, God bless you, Mickey, and I'm not hating on you, but he'll be talking about Jason Witten was a leading. Like, come on, dog. He had 8 catches, but he had 50-something yards. It was like little over 7 yards a catch, like he's catching and he's going down. That the defense knows that he's never going to stretch the field, so they're only going to go guard so much of that field with Jason Witten because he's not going to extend that field.
Absolutely.
So they're going to sit on routes, okay? So it's not like he's catching and they're like game-changing catches.
It goes back to what Jordan was saying. Jordan said it makes the linebackers and the DBs play a little bit on their heels. You know,
exactly.
They don't know, and if they can continue, see, Jarwin will get better the more he plays. I know Jason Witten is a legend at that box out, run 6, 7, 8 yards, turn around and catch it. But do you think Jarwin can't do that? I mean,
I mean, the only thing he's got on him is he blocks better. I mean, he is a better blocker than Blake Jarwin because I've seen Blake Jarwin get handled.
Sure,
and that's what I'm saying though, Will. They live off of that. That's why they keep him in the game. The blocking. No, we need somebody to stretch that field. Like I said, could you imagine if we had an Evan Ingram? That's all Dak Prescott needs is a tight end, a dynamic tight end, and what? He's getting these numbers without it.
The funny thing is, man, and I'm not trying to compare Blake Jarwin to this guy, but I really truly believe that Blake Jarwin could be a tight end one and a very productive tight end one with this team, because no one's going to, I mean, no offense to him, no one's going to pay attention to the tight end on this team. Let me tell you why. 21 in the backfield, 19, 13. You know what I'm saying? And when he's playing well, which we'll get to, 18 in the slot, 20 when he comes on the field, and 4 throwing the ball. You think they worried about a tight end?
No. They got too many. I mean, there's too many options right now. You get what I'm saying?
So the opportunities will be there for a guy, like you said, that can get down the seam, stretch the field, and run multiple routes. He's multiple. I'm sorry, y'all. Witten is not multiple. And I love Jason Witten. He's going to go first ballot Hall of Fame, but he's not multiple.
He's not multiple, and if we're talking about, like I said, everybody say he's the safety valve. Man, Jarwin can be that too if you give him playing time. Jarwin can be a safety valve, but we're not giving him the time because we're living off the old. You got to get this new infusion. I love one thing I love about Blake Jarwin, he doesn't complain about it. He's happy he gets his opportunities. He plays the company line. So I give him his props for that. But come on, man. How many catches did he have yesterday?
Blake?
How many catches did he have?
Jason Witten? Blake had one catch.
One catch for what?
42-yard touchdown.
Thank you. He's the giant killer. You get what I'm saying?
Blake Jarwin, I think he has 3 or 4 catches over 20 yards this year. In the air.
Do you think that if let's look at this. If Blake Jarwin had 8 catches, do you think they would only be for 57 yards or 54 yards?
No.
Like, come on.
He had almost that in one play.
You feel me?
Witten can still win a Super Bowl on the bench. That's what Gambino said.
It's right. It's not a crime. It's not a crime, Cowboys. It's not a crime. It's not a crime.
Hey, before we move on a little bit more to the offense, I wanted to drop some special news to you guys. Big Game kind of touched on this before the show on his page. You can go check it out. But me and Big Game James, Skywalker Steele, Big Game James are coming together for the Dynamic Duo Tag Team Championship podcast. All right? We're going to be bringing y'all some Cowboys content, Cowboys talk like this through the podcast. So the guys that can't listen to it live, if you can't hop on a late night, because we do the nightcap, you can play us over again on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google, all that stuff, man. We're putting that together. We're going to try to have that for you soon. We're really, really excited about that. I know we've been talking about that for the last couple of days.
Yeah,
y'all let me know if y'all up for that, because we're going to
y'all better be up for that. Y'all want to listen to these good voices? Now y'all ain't got, you can see the pretty faces, but now you can just listen to those good voices just make you go to sleep like you went before you go to bed, and you want to listen to some good Cowboys nightcap.
The Cowboys nightcap.
This is the nightcap. These are the voices that you want to listen to. We will put you in good sleep.
Cowboys Nation, if you're listening out there, thank you for tuning in.
You sound like some Law Nation right there.
Oh yeah, Law got that perfect voice.
He got that. And now remember,
you are rocking with. Shout out to Law.
Shout out to you, Law.
Shout out to Law. Yeah, man. So we're excited for that, putting that together. I wanted to kind of touch on that before we got too far into that. So we look forward to giving you guys great Cowboys content via podcast that you can download and listen to at any time at work, on the way home, all that stuff, man. Excited. All right,
it's gonna blow up. Just so y'all know, wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so it wasn't all annoying offensively. I mean, think about it. We had almost 450 or 60 yards total of offense. We were moving the rock. So I kind of want to touch on some of the things that did work. And that guy, Ezekiel Elliott, was phenomenal again. Wasn't spectacular in the sense of, all these flashy plays, but you know what? I mean,
I'm not that guy anymore.
Exactly. I'm gonna let you go in on Zeke, but I just want to say this, y'all, because I was a little bit hard on Zeke earlier, saying that he's not the same guy, and I still think that. But that does not mean he's not elite. Zeke is still very much elite. He's just in a different way. He's so good. He's a thumper that he's finally making people miss, which I'm happy about. And he is a finisher. And did you see that block he put on that linebacker?
Dog.
Dog.
That is one of the most underappreciated facets of his game is his blocking.
His
How many times have
physicality.
we how many times have we seen Dak in the shotgun and then Ezekiel Elliott just lay out a linebacker, lay out a lineman? I can't remember who he did from Philly. He crushed him on Philly on the end
Oh
when he
yeah, it was Barnett or Derek
Barnett,
Barnett.
yeah, just crushed him, and I know it hurt because Zeke ain't no little dude,
No.
and you see he will run you over, Malcolm Jenkins. You'll see what he'll do to you. So yes, it's just a beautiful thing to see how he can pick up the blocks. He steamrolls, and once again, I said I need Philly Zeke, like that Philly steak, that
And
Philly
you got him.
cheesesteak. That man, I need that with them onions and pepper, all that good stuff. I need a
Gino.
Philly Zeke, and guess what? He gave me Philly Zeke again. The explosion, as soon as he get the ball, doesn't hesitate, hits that hole, and finishing the drive. You rarely see Ezekiel Elliott going backwards. He is always falling forward and moving that pile. And when he starts wearing on you, wearing that defense down, now you do the play action. Now Dak Prescott's got a
Yes.
little bit more time to sit in that pocket. And guess what? Now Amari Cooper's open. We hit you over the middle, and it's touchdown.
Yep.
That's what Ezekiel Elliott does for you.
I have to give props to Kellen Moore in this game and Dak Prescott. Now Dak was his numbers spectacular. I mean, after the interception, he played really really well. 3 touchdowns, over 250. You know, he managed. I don't want to say managed because y'all going to take that wrong. He controlled that game very well at the line of scrimmage, and a lot of that had to do with him trusting and believing in Ezekiel Elliott. And a lot of people get mad when we run when he changes a play into a run. You got to understand there's a method to the madness. We're still a running team. Okay, teams still have to respect Dak. Now, if you saw the one play was a play action and he got like a 15 or 20-yard gain to Jason Witten, the reason why that worked is because he checked out of the run. He checked out of the run and did a play action to Zeke, and that's all set up by, in my opinion, Kellen Moore allowing us to establish the run game and allowing us to establish it in a way that the stubborn Scott Linehan never did. He got those guards and tackles on the move last night. Mm-hmm. Connor Williams, Zach Martin, they were able to showcase their athleticism on the move with a lot of pulls and a lot of traps and things of such. And I want to see that more. I want to see Connor get out there and put somebody on their ass. I want to see Lyle Collins get out there. That's what they do. That's what they do. Our offensive line played very well last night. Very well.
Gave up no sacks.
No sacks. And Zeke said that was the easiest 139 yards he got in his career.
And also, when we talk about night and day with the offensive line, even with the influx, even when, think about this, even when Tyron Smith has been out, even when La'el Collins has been out, Dallas has only given up 10 sacks in 8 games.
It's night and day. And I have to attribute that to the offensive line, Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott. There's a growth in all three of those guys that is attributed to the lack of sacks this year. And because Dak took a lot of sacks last year, he will tell you that was my bad, and I have to learn how to do that. And being a young quarterback, developing quarterback, you learn those things, and he's clearly learning that. And the guy is he looks great this year. I'm sorry if you don't think so, but I think Dak is taking that next step, and he's put himself in that tier right before you get to the top. Okay, you got the Russes, you got the Aaron Rodgers, the Patrick Mahomes, and then after that, Tom Brady if you want to throw him up there. But in my opinion, he's dropping down. But after that, I think you put Dak Prescott in that tier, and that's you should be happy as a Cowboy fan. Should be happy.
I mean, we've been waiting for it. I mean, like I've been saying today, and I've been saying to a lot of people, if you're looking at Dak Prescott's numbers, can we really say that a lot of people were thinking he was going to have these numbers at this point of the season? Did a lot of people think he was going to be
detractors? No.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think that a lot of people think he was going to be at 69.6 completion rating, 102, and he's been steady 100 the whole 8 weeks? Also, 2,380 yards already, averaging 300 yards passing game. Remember Dink and Dunk Dak? Oh, he can't throw him far. He can't. He's basically eclipsing all his numbers ever. All right. And then he has 15 touchdowns passing, 3 rushing, so 18 total right there. 8 interceptions, but I'm going to say at least 3 to 4 of them were off receivers' hands. And then you're averaging a robust almost 8.7 yards per pass attempt. That's very good, and he's trajected to almost hit 5,000 yards this year. So everybody's talking about the dink and dunk
Oh
Dak,
well,
and we still
that's
have the
over.
number one offense in the league, or at least number
We're
two.
top 5 in just about every metric.
You get what I'm saying? So we can we leave it to rest? And I talked about it today. I said you're smoking some good chronic, some fire, fire.
That Rams quarterback, huh?
That Rams quarterback. If you sitting there telling me that Jared Goff is better than Dak Prescott, boy, you better just go jump in the water and just don't get out. Just go swim all the way to the Atlantic.
Hey, shout out to Jay. My man Jay Rich in the building, keeping us level headed. I appreciate.
Yeah, you know how he's the calmer. Anything we get hyped about, Jay is there to just smack you down and say no.
I appreciate you, Jay. I appreciate you because he's right.
I appreciate you too.
He says pump the brakes. The Giants are 30th against the run and 31st in sacks. Hey Jay, I feel you, but it's to me, it's not about the result.
It's how you won it though.
Exactly. It's
how you won the game.
That's the thing. I'm not so much focused on the raw numbers of almost 500 yards and that's why I said Dak put up 3 touchdowns and we have 500 whatever. It's just the fact that after we got our heads out our asses, I saw things from the offensive coordinator on the road that had me say, okay, that is a stepping stone to maybe being better on the road because I don't worry about us at home. I said this all the time. If you watch this show enough, you know I feel like our offense is night and day from home and the road. It's just on the road. I don't feel like my man Hawk said, I don't feel like Kellen Moore is in total control. I don't. I feel like Jason Garrett tightens the grips. But I seen some things last night that gave me some encouragement. I really did from the offensive side of the ball, specifically running the rock and how we ran the ball. We didn't run the ball right up the middle every single play. We did a whole lot more zone, a whole lot more pulling that allowed Zeke, like Frost said, to work on his footwork, make that cutback. He was doing a lot of cuts.
Did you see his cutbacks and did you see his quick feet? I mean, there was a lot of times when he was getting through that hole, he had no quick feet to give you the quick shake. That's what I had been missing. He was just usually just getting the ball, holding it with 2 hands and just diving straight through the line. That's not the Zeke I know. I know Zeke, once he's got the wiggle. I've been watching him since Ohio State. So I know Zeke got that wiggle. And then also incorporating Tony Pollard, like we've been saying. You saw a lot of Tony Pollard in that third and fourth quarter. You were seeing him running the ball. Zeke was going out. He was running it consecutively three or four times. That's what you want to see. You know, mix that up. Put them both in the backfield. Keep the defense off balance. And as I said before, we all know and understand this is the bummy Giants. Nobody's jumping up and doing cartwheels. That is the Giants. We know they suck. But at the end of the day, it's how you win that game.
Yeah, we're going to talk about moving forward. Trust and believe. Because we both feel the same way as you, Jay, that until otherwise, until we beat good teams,
right?
You can't make a definitive. You can't make a definitive. He says that we are a 9-7 team. Hey, listen, until we start beating good teams, I agree with you. That's how we're playing. We're playing.
I'm not gonna sit there and say we're a 9-7 team. I'm not gonna sit there and say that because who are you hyping in the NFC to sit there and say that? Okay, you act like the Saints smashed us. They didn't do it. Okay, and they're beating everybody else. We played sloppy in the Green Bay Packers. We came back against them. We understand about the Jets, but I knew that thing was going to happen because that's what Garrett teams do. But I just want to sit there and look at these other teams in NFC and say, where's the dominance from everybody else? Packers just got smacked.
I'm going to defend him in the sense that I don't know if maybe he believes 9-7 is literal. When I think of that, I'm thinking of he looks at us as a team that's flawed, but it's still going to have a winning record, 9-7, 10-6. And that's what it looks like.
What team isn't flawed?
This team
what team in the NFC is not flawed?
In the NFL. But yes.
But just look at the NFC. What team is not flawed, Will? What team is not? Even if you go on my Big Game James, Jay, go on my Big Game James page, you're going to sit there and see where I posted the schedule of all of our games.
I got it right here, brother.
Right now. You feel me? And it says contender or pretender. We're about to find out. So I feel you, but if you're looking at our talent-wise, we're just as good as anybody else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely we're good as anybody else when it comes to talent. Now, where we kind of falter is coaching. And this is where I was trying to get at is that listen, I totally understand that this team can match up with anyone in the league when it comes to the talent. However, where the 9-7 thing comes out, in my opinion, is that there's going to be games, and we've already seen it, if you ask me, where the coaching is going to lose you one, lose you two. And you're sitting at 4-3 going into the Giants game. Okay, so I'm not saying that we're a 9-7 team. I think we're going to win 10 games at the minimum, 10 games. I think we'll rip off some wins here, but I think that we have that ability, that ability, which is in a bad way, to play down a competition or play up to competition. And we've seen that all year. I mean, until you show me otherwise, we've seen that all year. We got to fix that.
And just like you said, we tend to play to the level of competition. So usually, when sometimes seems as of late when we play these teams that everybody said, "Oh yeah, y'all gonna lose that game." We've come out as winners. Think about that 2016 season when we went off and won those like 8 straight games. There was a lot of tough teams on that schedule. A lot of people say you're gonna lose that game. Oh, okay, you beat this team, but you ain't gonna win next week because they're tough. And what did we do? We went through them, and that was with Dak Prescott's rookie years. Even when 2014, I've seen Jason Garrett win these games, and I'm not even hyping Garrett. Y'all should already know how I feel about him, but I have seen him win these games like this. Now, he's got to prove it again? Yes, because this is a tough stretch. But I'm just saying, when you're looking dollar for dollar as far as the talent, and I'm not scared of no Kirk Cousins, Jay Rich. I'm sorry. Dak Prescott is 4-0 career against Kirk Cousins. I'm not scared of Kirk Cousins. And then you're missing Adam Thielen, too. He's not going to be playing in that game. The Vikings do have a good defense, but for me to sit there and
like
say
Jordan
we're going to smack us.
Xavier Rhodes ain't been the same either.
For them to sit there saying they're going to smack us when the Minnesota Vikings have been regular this year, I don't think so.
No, the Vikings don't. I mean, listen, they're a good team. This is, and I don't want to get too far ahead. I got the schedule up here.
I got you.
And we're going to touch on the Vikings, but we still have yet to touch on the other side of the ball. So let me go back to that right quick. We were talking about Ezekiel Elliott and the run game, the offensive line. And Jay said, hey, slow down. Totally get it. Dak, he says Dak is bipolar. I love
how?
Jay. Jay gives us.
Come on, dog. Come on. How's he bipolar, dog? He's only throw 8 picks.
Bipolar. That's bipolar to me is Jameis Winston.
Exactly. Dak is the
definition of consistent. He's literally consistent, man. I mean, he's not throwing you out games. He may not be winning you 400-yard games like Patrick Mahomes, but I mean,
you don't need him to do that. I mean, you got a running back named Ezekiel Elliott, so you don't need to throw 400 yards every game. That's what I thought. I think that's why you paid that running back all that money.
Dak is not 4-0 against Cousins. No, but the Cowboys always pretty much whoop on Cousins. But this is a pretty good team, this will be a test for us, and we'll get to that quick. But yes, there we go, David. David says Michael Bennett makes a difference. Yes. So let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball because that is the story of the night.
Right.
D played up to its potential. This is 2 games in a row now. Let me run these numbers off. Last 2 games, Cowboys have 8 sacks, 7 forced turnovers. 7. And I've given up 10 and 19 points or 18 points in the last 2 games against division foes. Okay? So the defense is kind of turning it around. And outside, if you really want to be honest, outside of the Packer game where it just whatever went back, whatever could go wrong went wrong. The defense has kind of just been pretty dang good. I know they haven't been spectacular, but the defense hasn't really let us down per se, except for an entire game, except for that Packers game. Even in the Jets game, it came back in the second half. But last night, dog, how did you feel about that D?
I mean, I felt great. I mean, the thing that I was excited about that you had LVE out and then you had a Renaissance Sean Lee, who I basically said was, man, play Joe Thomas. Sean Lee is a shell of himself. And you know what? He jumped in the fountain of youth, took a big old glass of water fountain of youth. I think he took a bottle with him to the fountain of youth and just filled it all up and just splashed it all over his body for that Giants game.
Took a bath in it.
Took a bath in that fountain of youth and, came out there and balled out 12 tackles. But what I was really impressed, I know about Michael Bennett, we're going to jump on that, but I was really impressed how Jalen Smith played. It just felt like when LBE wasn't in there, he really took over it like as the captain of that D. It looked like he was really quarterbacking that D. Looked like he was really zoned in and really into that game. He had 12 tackles as well, I believe in a big sack on 3rd down to take the Giants out of field goal range. And I actually had to punt that. So I really liked how that defense was dialed in. We seen how the defense plays better with playmakers, Jordan Lewis, Xavier Woods. But Michael Bennett, we said he can play outside, he can slide inside for you, and that's one more guy that you have to think about. Now we already know that DeMarcus Lawrence was getting the double, triple teams. Okay, that lesson when the Robert Quinn came in. But Now you got a package went on third down, and we can pin our ears back, and you can put all three of those guys in there
And
at one time. You feel me? And guess what?
And they did.
I didn't see Daniel Jones. Remember what we talked about? I said, I better not see Daniel Jones throwing for no 300-some yards and 4 times. I better not see that. And I didn't see it. I see him throw 41 times for only 200 yards, 210 yards.
Barely.
That's what I did see. That's what I did see.
He got a cheap one late in the game with Barkley going off for about 65 yards on
right,
that, man.
Right.
He's a beast, but we shut him down. And let's talk about that. We got guys in the comments talking about Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett was a huge factor in both the run game and the pass game. And this is why, if you go back and look at our other show, we said this man is such an important piece. And I talked about this on my First Down podcast when we were talking about the most impactful trades at the deadline. I said, don't sleep on Michael Bennett to Dallas. You know why? Because what was Dallas lacking? A guy in the middle who can cause havoc in both the rush and the pass game. And he did both of those things. You predicted a sack, and he got one. Mm-hmm. and honestly, would it shock you if he gets a sack every week? It wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't shock you. Me. Because he's been there and done that. And what else will we talk about? Quarterback stepping up in the pocket. We got the rush on the outside. Exactly. You slide him in the middle as a rush package. Throw in Malik Collins in there too, because he's a great rushing defensive tackle. So you see those guys coming in, and when we can peel our ends, and you've seen, even though Robert Quinn did not get a sack, he was constantly stressing that outside. He was stressing that outside, and he was making Daniel Jones step into that pocket. Okay, and then guess what you're going to meet? DeMarcus Lawrence on a stunt, or we looked in that, I think it was the fourth quarter was 23-15. They were driving us. It was a third down, and Daniel Jones was looking in the end zone. Bennett stunted, came on the inside, hit him at the last minute. Boom, threw it out of bounds, another field goal. Those type of little things are what the Cowboys are going to need going forward when we play these tougher teams and better quarterbacks.
A couple questions I'm going to get to. Dustin and Hawk. Dustin says, can you talk about the safety position? Listen, man, I could talk about it all day.
Darian Thompson looked all right, too.
Mm-hmm. Xavier Woods played his career game.
Think so.
Forced fumble, interception. He was around the ball. But did you notice? It seemed to happen to me
when Thompson came in the game.
Here we go.
He started roaming, seemed like he was more free.
He felt
looked like
good.
He was free. He was like free at last. Free at last. I ain't got to worry about helping Jeff Heath because he be slipping. He be messing up. It looked like he was free as a bird.
He played so clear.
He played so free when Thompson came in the game. Because here's the thing. Even in camp, they were saying one of the reasons why they really liked Thompson was he was a smart guy. He was putting guys in their positions. He kept people in their positions. And that's what they really loved about him. So if you have a guy that they really liked and he was a smart guy and he's from Boise State, you know how they love those guys. He was free, and it looked like he was free to play and be himself. So I don't know what happens going forward, but I like what I saw in that game.
All right, I'm going to talk about my second thing I put on Twitter. I said the 3 things moving forward, the Cowboys can get better internally. My other thing was Darian Thompson over Jeff Heath. Take a notice. I know it's the Giants. I totally get that. But Darian Thompson is just a different cat. He's more athletic. He's faster. There was a play. He didn't even make the play. It was just his counter to it. So they did a play action. And Darian Thompson bit really, really hard. And Daniel Jones came rolling to his left, and he was going to dump it off to, I think, the tight end or the wide receiver right above Darian Thompson. Darian turned around and sprinted back. Jeff Heath would have never got there in time. He made Daniel Jones commit to running the rock. Now, did Daniel Jones get a solid or carry? Sure. But the play could have been bigger if Darian Thompson didn't sprint back. These tiny things. And another play on the goal line where he stuffed him and Michael Bennett.
That was huge.
Saquon Barkley. That's the second time. Or D-Law and Darian Thompson stuff Saquon Barkley. That's the second time this season I've seen Darian Thompson, and it was against the Dolphins, come up big on the goal line. The guy just flies around. He's athletic. He's smart. And someone pointed this out on another page. They said that we do a little bit more too high safety with Darian Thompson, and they use Heath more of like a linebacker. And I noticed that. I went back and looked, man. He's right. We do. And I said, you know what? Let's do more of it. We do more single or too high safeties, because you know what the problem is when we do single high? We like to play games. We like to say, all right, we're going to start Jeff Heath up at the line of scrimmage and Xavier Woods back, but we're going to try to trick him. We're going to bring Xavier Woods up and float Jeff Heath back in coverage. And what happens?
He gets red face.
94-yard touchdown, or he's gasping for air
because he
Nelson
red faced. Because he's like, "Oh no, please don't do it! Don't catch a touchdown on me. They're gonna be mad."
So listen, give me more of Darian Thompson, and shout out to Xavier Woods, absolute beast. Now Hawk said, his question, where's it at here? He says he says we rotate and it could cause problems for the O-line, but do we feel like at times we sub too much? That's just Rob Marinelli, man. It's going to be.
You ain't gonna get around that. He always been doing that since Bears, since Tampa. That's his style philosophy. That's never gonna change.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the rotations because you want your guys to be fresh. Now there was a point in time in the fourth quarter where D-Law, Bennett, and Quinn were all out, and I was like, what are we doing? let's ice this game, guys. Let's put it back in there. Then we get him back in there, and I think a couple plays later, Darius Armstrong, Darius Armstrong got that sack. So, yeah.
And he was a guy that was looking good in camp. I mean, he was looking real good, but he just didn't do it. Hasn't done it in the regular season. But the good thing about it is when you got a Bennett, it helps because now you have Bennett, you have a Quinn, and you have a Lawrence. Now that takes a little bit, maybe some pressure off of Armstrong, feeling like he had to make plays. So now he can come off the bench and be clear. And now he can just come out there and pin his ears back. You just put him in on third down and just let him pin his ears back. And he got next to a Kerry Hyder because, hey, Kerry Hyder, Covington, all those guys that were playing a lot, maybe they take a little bit step back with Bennett coming in. But Kerry Hyder's been playing good. So, it's a good mix that they brought in. It was much needed. I don't think Bennett is going to be with us in the long haul. I think this is just a half-year rental. So if this is a half-year rental, you better use them and make something happen with this half year.
Facts. Here's why moving forward, and I know we said this is annoying, and I know probably coming out this game you're not super confident in anything. Your confidence level probably went from here to maybe here. Some people lost confidence, which is mind-blowing to me. You won by 19. Your defense played great. Your offense put up almost 500 yards. I'm not saying book Super Bowl tickets. I'm just saying, guys, it's okay. We won. We know we have a lot to work on.
Why can't we be happy about a win?
And we know the schedule is going to be a little bit more difficult moving forward. However, take this from this game if you take nothing. We picked up a guy in Bennett who was going to help this pass rush, which was already pretty good. We have a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. We saw, like you said, Xavier Woods, Jordan Lewis, playmakers make plays. We may have a blessing in disguise with Darian Thompson getting involved. LVE will be coming back. Sean Lee is playing well. We have a defense that if your offense Joe Thomas starts slow, we got Joe Thomas. We have a defense that can keep you in the ball games, okay? And I don't give a damn who you play and where you play. Defense travels. Mm-hmm. It absolutely travels. And if you look at the road games, aside from a crappy first half against the Jets, the defense has traveled pretty damn good. And I know it ain't played against the crazy competition, but guess what? We talked about it last week. You're about to play Carson Wentz again. You're about to play Tom Brady, not DeMarcus Cousins. Look at that. I think about my Lakers. You're about to play Kirk Cousins. And what do you need when you're playing these type of quarterbacks? You need a pass rush. And what do we see with Michael Bennett in there? You think Mike, because we played, as Jay says, we played a bad offensive line, that Michael Bennett hasn't had production against good offensive lines?
I mean, guess what I'm saying, man? It's always the counteractive. Like I said, nobody's jumping up and doing cartwheels because of the Giants. I wish people would stop doing that. Like, nobody's sitting there saying, "Oh, Super Bowl time." No. Nobody is saying that, okay? No. No. I've watched enough football and coached enough of it to sit there and say, no, I'm not getting geeked up like we're going to the Super Bowl because we beat the sorry-ass Giants. No, it's, you know what? They pissed me off all game, but guess what? They thoroughly beat them at the end, and I like how we did beat them on the defensive side of the ball. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good when we're playing, going forward, playing the Vikings, playing the Rams, playing the Eagles, playing the Bears, playing the Patriots. That makes me feel good going forward because I see things that I'm like, okay, that can work against these other teams. I understand we played bum teams, but I also think we can beat these other good teams, and now it's just time to do it.
Be real with yourselves, Cowboys Nation, all the way around. I'm talking about not getting too high or not getting too low. I just listed a ton of really good players defensively. Do you honestly think that they're just going to shit the bed against every good team? And why
we
is
didn't
it?
play good teams last year.
I was just about to say, why is it that people have short-term memory? That do you guys forget that the Cowboys have beaten good teams over the last 3 years?
Right.
It has happened.
Since Dak has been there, they've played, like I said, that 2016 team. I need to go just pull up that schedule because I remember at the meat of that schedule, so many people were saying every week, you won this game, but you're going to lose this game because they're good. Everybody said we're going to lose against Pittsburgh. Everybody said we're going to lose against Tampa Bay. Everybody said we're going to go to Minnesota and lose against
One
Minnesota.
At a time.
You feel me? They were all saying we're going to lose these games, and we won all of them. So what's the excuse then?
Let me give you a good stat here. This is what everyone's saying. Dallas has beat one team over 500. Absolutely right. You know how many
what about the Patriots?
I got you. How many Patriots have beaten? One. You know how many the 49ers have beaten? Two.
One.
You know how many the Vikings have beaten? Two. You know how many the Ravens have beaten? Two. That's just the NFL. You're not going to play a 6 or 8 win team every week. Sorry.
Preach it.
Sorry. Yes.
Preach it.
I do understand coming up. This schedule right here is going to get tough. Vikings, Lions, Patriots, Bills, Rams, and Eagles.
Are those dominant teams, though?
No, but
seriously,
we want to see them play these teams because we have questions.
Right. That's
okay.
all.
It is okay to question them. It's okay.
And each one of these teams has got smacked, too.
A couple of them. We just saw the Patriots get demolished.
We seen the Vikings. They were just crying the blues 2 weeks ago. They were in turmoil. You get what I'm saying?
And Adam Thielen next week, which we'll touch on at the end of the show. But no,
we're scared of Josh Allen. Okay.
I listen. You already know what I said about the Bills game. That's Beasley.
Josh Allen.
Beasley coming back. They're going to ring his bell for talking all that mess.
Ring my bell.
Jordan said, especially pass rush. We're talking about having the pass rush for this upcoming schedule. Jordan said, especially pass rush that pushes the middle of the pocket should be key versus Brady. He loves stepping up. It is key.
Yes, didn't we talk about that, Will, in the last show?
We did. And we're going to talk about it probably every week because Bennett and Malik Collins, they give you that. Malik Collins didn't have a running mate. Now he got a running mate.
Mm-hmm.
He got a running mate in that pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really good in it. Did you see what he did? I really should have pulled up some tape.
You should have.
And got it for y'all because, man, it was fun watching. It was fun watching that D-line. Did you see what he did against Aaron Hernandez on that tackle for loss? Let me tell y'all, not Aaron Hernandez, oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Will Hernandez was out there playing like Aaron Hernandez, trying to kill people.
Like crazy, yeah, exactly.
Will Hernandez, he got up under Will Hernandez, who got about 50 pounds on him, man. He's like 330 pounds. And he just drove him right back, pushed him off of him, and tackled for loss against Saquon Barkley. That type of stuff, man, I don't think you understand how important that is moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely huge. Let's talk about our guy, Jay Lou.
Oh, yeah, that's been my dog since day one, dog. A1, day one. Like I said, when Jay Lou came on the scene in 2017, I had my doubts when he first got drafted because I looked at everything like everybody else, the size, not long arms. But then I really, honestly, dog, I really went in depth with Jordan Lewis. I went back and watched his high school tape. I watched him in camps, in his high school camps that he went to, how he competed. And number one, he played on the offensive side of the ball. So right there, that showed me a playmaker. He was catching routes, getting the ball. You could tell. And I was like, okay, maybe that's why I like this dude, because he senses the ball. He's always around the ball. He senses it. And just to see the maturation and we've been clamoring for him. Please play him.
2 years.
Stop saying he's the exception to the rule, Christian Richard. Stop saying Jason Garrett, oh, he's exceptional. He's this and that. But he's not playing. Y'all saw when he got in the game, 3 games, 3 wins. He has 2 turnovers himself, 1 interception, 1 return fumble, and the defense seems to have a little bit of swagger when he's in the game because he brings that attitude. He does not back down from anybody, as Dez Bryant. I don't care if Dez caught the ball on him. He don't back down, and that's why I loved him from day one. And honestly, he's a starting corner. You're just going to look at that size. But if you're seeing Janoris Jenkins as a starting corner and did his thing, you're going to tell me that Jordan Lewis can't start with as little as Janoris Jackrabbit Jenkins is?
No, he can absolutely start. And we got to listen. The coaches finally said that hey, we're gonna play Jordan Lewis more, no matter if Anthony Brown is back. And Anthony Brown was back, and Jay Lou played majority of the snaps. I mean, the guy, there's certain things you can't coach, right? And that's being around the ball. When the ball finds you like it finds Jordan Lewis, you have to keep playing that guy. Okay, he is an exceptional cover corner as well. He ranked as the #1 cover corner per PFF, and I know, don't shoot me. It's PFF.
Right.
There's certain positions I do like that they cover. There's certain positions I don't like. I happen to like the cornerback. I don't like the running back position on PFF. Makes no sense. But he was ranked as a #1 cover corner this past week, and he gave up. They credited him for that screen pass, which is stupid. But other than that, he gave up something like 20 yards on 3 catches. I mean, he's just good. He's just damn good. He has 6 career takeaways, be it forced fumble or interceptions.
And played the less snaps more than anybody. Less snaps out of everybody.
Out of everybody. He has more turnovers than everyone in our secondary since 2017. I mean, Chris, what more do you need to see? The guy is that good.
I mean, he's that good, and he's been proven. He's gonna. And the more he plays, the better he gets. So you're just. And the good thing about it is you still got Byron Jones shutting down one side of the field. I mean, he may be playing better than he was last year. I mean, but he's not going to get INTs. But he's still going to shut down that field, though.
Can we talk about 24?
I mean, I don't know what to say about Cheeto. I don't think he's playing terrible.
He's not.
He's not playing terrible, but it's just the fact that when you got one guy, when you have one guy shutting down the other side of the field, he's going to get looks. I mean, he's going to get looks. I mean, that touchdown just really annoyed me and irked me.
OG.
I know. We talked about safety, dog.
OG.
I don't know what else to say, man. I'm trying to give him some love. I interviewed him. I don't know, dog.
And I had 5 takeaways, rapid takeaways after the game, and one of them was a Woozier ain't it. And I had a guy on Twitter say, one bad game, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, listen, bro, I like Cheeto. I'm not saying take Cheeto off the field. I actually want him to move to safety, as we talked about. But what I mean by a Woozier ain't it, it's that we went into this season with the risk of not signing Byron Jones because you know why? They said, we got Cheeto. We got Jordan Lewis. We got Anthony Brown. But moving on, as we're seeing through the years, that Cheeto has not progressed. Okay, he is still here. He still lacks ball awareness. He still doesn't stick to his man. He gets way too much space. And
he's not physical for his physical abilities. That's what bothers me about him. He's not.
I don't think he's comfortable with the wide receiver in his hip pocket, and that's what cornerbacks have to be. If you watch Byron Jones, he's so comfortable covering a guy downfield, so comfortable running alongside of a guy because when in his hip, that's his game. That's why he moved from safety to corner. He plays so much better because he's a natural corner. You know what we think? Cheeto should be a natural safety. Cheeto is super athletic, man. He's super athletic. Did you see how he basically hawked his own teammate, Jordan Lewis?
And even on the Saquon Barkley screen pass, he helped hawk him down and stop him on that play.
Yeah. Jordan says they keep attacking him, and they do. But like, to be fair, to play devil's advocate, Jordan, like Big Game James said, they're going to attack him because they ain't throwing the Byron Jones side.
Right.
They ain't throwing the Byron Jones side. And he hasn't played horrible this year, but the problem is and I said it last night, he's just there. That's what it feels like. It feels like every time the ball is thrown to the side or something, he's just there. I don't see him playing with disciplined technique every time. Only time I see him play consistent is when he's playing off the ball because he lets you catch it and he comes up for the tackle. That's the best thing.
He does tackle. He can tackle.
He tackles very well.
That's why safety would be great for him.
Yeah. Safety would be his best position. But, I just wanted to touch on him. I just wanted to touch on him.
I digress. It wouldn't look. Would you think it would look sweet if you had Cheeto back there with Xavier Woods and Jordan Lewis starting that corner and Byron Jones? So maybe Anthony Brown in the slot. I don't know.
It would. It absolutely would.
Just saying.
And last but not least, defensively. I mean, first of all, shout out to Tank too. Okay, Tank was dominant. He was a beast in the run game per usual.
And y'all leave him alone now.
Leave him alone.
He didn't. I keep trying to tell everybody he didn't have no training camp, had no preseason games. You rarely see a player. I played. You played. Anybody who's played the game knows if you had any kind of injury, and you sit out all the training camp, all the preseason, then you start week 1, you just gonna come in and dominate? That ain't reality, dog. That don't happen. That's a rarity.
Cowboys Nation, ease up. He's still elite. He's still very good in both things. Okay, running.
Did you see him get after? Did you see him? I don't care whose line it was. You see him getting better. You see him getting meticulous with his arm chops and his bar. You see him getting it technical again. You see it, like if you're watching, get the all 22. He was having whoever, I can't remember the guy was blocking. Reimer. He had him on his heels all night. Watch the tape.
This is what excites me about moving forward. And as frustrating as the offense is, as frustrating as it makes us, as frustrating as it is that it takes them time, when you have a defense that I think will have a defense that can put pressure on the quarterback consistently, that can start creating turnovers, our offense is too good to be held down for 4 quarters. We've seen it. One game that happened. One game. Other than that, this offense finds its footing. And if it finds its footing and your offense can't respond, you can forget about it. Because when we get that lead, it's unleash the dogs. When this defense struggles is when they're playing the run, they're playing the pass. You don't know what's going to happen. Okay? And those play actions and Daniel Jones is running out the pocket, getting 18 yards a pop. That's when there's a little bit of struggle. But if we can get up on you and the defense can pin its ears back, good luck with that rush. Good luck.
And we know how Ron Marinelli, he doesn't really like to blitz, but he has been sending those blitzes. But Jalen Smith has been that guy. If we're sending a guy on a blitz, it's been Jalen Smith because he's so timely with it. That one where he circled around, he came in like the Predator. I promise you, when he did that circle around DeMarcus Lawrence, he came in like the Predator and smacked your boy Daniel Jones. I love seeing that. I just get excited seeing that. But as we said, Marinelli loves to just play with his front four. That's one of the reasons why he was so excited to get Michael Bennett.
But Jalen's a weapon, like you said.
I know he's a weapon. You can send all those guys, but what I'm saying is Marinelli feels better when he can just attack you with those, and he feels like I got bona fide rushers. I got bona fide pass rushers that can pin their ears.
Can drop back 7, rush 4.
And we can drop back 7 and rush 4, and we can still possibly get turnovers. You see the difference when we actually win the turnover battle. Don't lose the turnover battle. We win the turnover battle. You see what happens. It shortens the field. You win games. And the more you get turnovers, the better it is for your team as a whole.
I tell you what, man. You made me think of something. Robert Quinn, DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael Bennett, Malik Collins, and Jalen Smith rushing. I mean, I may be biased, but I don't know a better 5-man rush on a play in the league.
Because Malik Collins is a devastating pass rusher.
He's a top 10 defensive tackle pass rusher. That's proven.
That was his proven. That was his MO even in college. Even at Nebraska, he was not a run stopper.
His whole career.
He was a pass rusher. Yeah, he's been a pass rusher. He had 5 sacks his rookie year.
Yeah, listen, man, that's a nasty combination. A couple questions. Donovan says, "Why don't we repeat plays at work like the Jarwin play?" Listen, I'm throwing my hands in there. When it comes to Tony Pollard and Blake Jarwin, I'm throwing my hands in the air. Anything that they get to me is icing on the cake.
We just hope and pray.
Yeah. Angel says, why Eric Berry hasn't been in camp or anything.
Nobody wants Eric Berry.
That must be a response to somebody because we didn't bring up Eric Berry. I think he's done.
Yeah, he's done.
And Hawk said, did you see the video of the Eagles O-line talking about how good D-Law's moves were? I haven't seen the video, but I'm pretty sure they was on that line talking about more than how good his moves were. They was probably pissed off.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop him.
Yeah. Like I said, it's an exciting thing. You know, like the great thing about this is one of our young core guys, LVE. He wasn't even missed.
I'm glad you brought that up. Excellent segue. He wasn't missed because old man Sean Lee absolutely balled off. I know we talked about him a little bit at the beginning, but I want to come back to Sean Lee to end this defensive side of the ball. Sean Lee is such a luxury, and this is why I didn't want to cut him. I never was for cutting him. A lot of people wanted to get rid of him. I know, but that's okay.
Sorry, I was.
Hey, listen. Hey, we all can't be, right?
Yeah, we can't be all.
We all can't be me.
Okay, whatever, dude.
This is why I like to have him because he's a coach, even if he's not playing, and you can never have enough depth. Not in the NFL. It's a game of attrition. It's a game of being healthy and having that type of depth when you aren't healthy. And Sean Lee absolutely turned that clock back. I mean, he had that vintage tackle for loss screenplay. I mean, that's the type of stuff we saw Sean Lee do in his prime, man. It made him a Hall of Fame candidate if he stayed healthy. He has that type of ability. And here's what's weird, man. I feel like Sean Lee plays better the more he plays. But
yes,
you're not
and that's the problem. You're not going to play with LVE.
You're not going to play him a lot with LVE in there.
But see, you know what? That was the problem last year. If you really think about it, I think that's the reason why it was uneven. Because remember, LVE was playing so daggone good. It was like, we kind of don't want to bring you back. And then when they took LVE out it was kind of like to bring Sean Lee in to kind of, because he's a veteran. He's earned, he's earned that right. There was the struggle. You could see the defense started being uneven because it was off balance. And just like you said, Sean Lee is better when he can play a lot more. But I like Sean Lee coming off the bench because you know what? Sean Lee maybe play more, but then he's more susceptible to injuries, pulling hamstrings, injuring knees, and being out for the year. So keep him off the bench, keep him coming off that bench because he's fresh. And that's what you want from a Sean Lee. Fresh, fresh, fresh. And I apologize, and I'll apologize to you one more time. General Lee, I am sorry. I did say cut you. I said take the pay cut. You did. I said cut you. I said you're a shell of yourself. Joe Thomas is better than you right now. I still think Joe Thomas is still a baller. That's one game for Sean Lee. But guess what? You turn back the clock. I got nothing to say. Yeah, 12 tackles, just like you said, that vintage screen pass where he shut that down. He was hitting that middle. I seen they show one from the top camp, where he came right through the line and he just diagnosed the run exactly where it was going and stuff.
That might have been the hardest hit I seen Sean Lee lay.
Dog, and he was loving it. You know what I'm saying? So, you feel me? It's a good thing when you can come off with that luxury, because we haven't had that luxury. People forget we was in linebacker hell for a while. We was in linebacker hell when we had Justin Durant and those guys. I remember them Blues.
Who's the cat we got? Oh man, the cat from Detroit, FSU guy, fast as
Ernie Sims.
Sims.
We had Ernie Sims and Justin Durant, dog, just about 3 years ago, dude.
I used to get Ernie Sims on Madden. His speed was like a 90. It was crazy.
But he was so daggone little, he get trucked out this world.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna put a bow. We're gonna wrap this Giants game up. It was a victory. I know it was an annoying one. That's what we're naming it. And I just want to touch on, before we end the show real quick, the Vikings game coming up, because you know what I told you last week. To me, this was the game. Okay, I knew we would beat the Giants, but this is the game that will swing this season. Now, Cowboys Nation, y'all hit us up. Let me know what y'all want to see in this game, matchups, whatever, and I'll get to you guys' questions and comments. I'm on there, but I'll start off with real quick what I think is the most important matchup, and to me, that is Rod Marinelli versus Kirk Cousins.
Oh, you think so? I'm Dalvin Cook.
I'm very confident in our run D.
Okay.
I just feel good about it.
Okay.
But no, I'm not saying it's not important. But the reason why I say Rod Marinelli or Chris Richard, whoever the hell was running the defense, versus Kirk Cousins, is because I think they're going to have to rely on them throwing the ball. And I know they don't have Adam Thielen in the game, but I told you, our offense finds its footing. And when it finds its footing, it forces the opposing offense to have to chuck it. Okay, and Kirk Cousins is not Daniel Jones. Okay, so he's a veteran quarterback, and while we beat him, and while he is trash in the clutch, in my opinion, he can throw the ball. I mean, he can make the throws, he can make the reads, he can make the audibles, and he knows our defense. So I think it's going to be very important for Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard to scheme up, because it's going to be a scheme, in my opinion, to scheme up a good game plan to stop Kirk Cousins. Tell me, now you went on Dalvin Cook. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I mean, the reason why I'm on Dalvin Cook, I'm sorry, I totally agree with what you're saying about Kirk Cousins, but he just don't scare me. Kirk Cousins get rattled. You start getting after Kirk Cousins, he makes mistakes. He overthrows balls. He underthrows balls. Like that's what Kirk Cousins does. Yeah, right. I'm sorry, I'm just not more fearful. I'm want shut down Cook.
Dalvin Cook is a better player.
Dalvin Cook got that explosiveness. Okay, Dalvin Cook cut. You know how we soft in the middle at times, and Dalvin Cook can hit that middle, make that one cut, and if we have the linebacker or the safety take the wrong angle, he can take it to the house. You feel me? And that's what we don't need. We don't need that kind of momentum. We need to be just like we were on Saquon Barkley. You saw how it changed the game. I don't give a hell. The Giants may suck, but everybody ain't no Saquon Barkley. You got what I'm saying? Everybody don't have no Saquon Barkley in their backfield.
I'm going to hurt some feelings right here, though. While Saquon Barkley may be more talented, Dalvin Cook's the scarier runner.
I'm saying because he gone.
Not just being gone. Saquon, man, I feel like Saquon is still learning how to play in the league. I understand he's super athletic and he can shrug off a defender and all this stuff, and he's not playing behind the best line, but neither is Dalvin Cook. But what Dalvin Cook can do is he has that patience and that vision, and they run a Shanahan vintage Shanahan offense where it's that zone and it's one cut, and if Dalvin Cook sees a lane, folks, he's healed. He will cut and go like you said. Whereas Saquon will make it miss, and then hit it. Dalvin, bro, you got to be disciplined, and that's why I'm saying.
Yeah, he's one cut, he's gone. He's one cut.
He gone.
Saquon will tend to dance a little bit. He'll make that one cut, then do a spin move, and then break out. You get what I'm saying? So he's good for doing that. I was listening to Hope Logan. He was saying, we shut down Barkley, and we. But you know what? The first game we didn't shut down Barkley. He had over 120 yards. He had 112 yards on him. I know he had. I don't care. He had the big run, but he still averaged 6 yards a carry. So don't tell me that.
He had a big run, and he had some productive runs.
After that, he still has 6 yards a carry.
What did he do last night?
That was last night. I'm saying he has beaten us. So
I'm with you, Hawk.
Okay, well, y'all can go ahead and play that. Oh, I ain't worried about that, Cook, and then we'll see what happens. And if he gets off a big run,
I'm going to text me.
Y'all in. I'm going to text you. I'm going to get your inbox. I'm just going to put eyeballs to you. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't going to say one word. I'm going to just put eyeballs straight to you and say, hey.
Hey, listen, I'm confident in our run defense. We don't give up. Now, Aaron Jones.
Come on now.
Aaron Jones, I'll give you that. That was a terrible all-around game. However, like he said, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley last night. Cook is a different animal in the sense I think he's a better runner than both of those guys. But I feel like we'll do okay there. I don't even say it's not even a worry. What I want us to be able to do is to completely rattle Kirk Cousins because Dalvin Cook ain't going to cough it up. Kirk Cousins will. And if you can force fumbles, just like we were talking about with the Wentz, finish the sack. Daniel Jones, finish the sack, finish the fumble. Got to do the same thing. Continue to take this ball away from quarterbacks like that, and you ain't got to worry about a Dalvin Cook. You ain't got to worry about it. So that's one of my matchups that I'm looking at. Let me see here in the comments. It says shut down Cook. Yeah, everybody agreeing with big game. Shut down Cook.
I mean, it's real. You know what I'm saying? You shut him down and let's make Kirk Cousins beat us. I'd rather have a Kirk Cousins try to beat us than a Cook. That's just my opinion on it because I've seen Kirk Cousins. I've seen enough of Kirk Cousins to say I ain't scared of no damn Kirk Cousins.
Apparently, Golden Tate must have been on Twitter talking trash, and Jordan Lewis.
Jay Lou, that's why I love him. Jay Lou don't care who you are. He gonna say something to you. He don't care because remember last year he was talking to your boy Can't Guard Mike, and Mike gave it to him on Twitter last year. But
that boy is so sensitive.
He for being as good as he is, he's one of the most sensitive people. You say one thing, like you say one thing, a tiny thing, he on you about
snapping.
He on
Twitter
you going.
What you say? Damn, Mike.
Calm down, bro. Dog, we know you good. Chill.
Man, this and I'm a millennial, but damn it, our generation is wild when it comes to this.
Y'all generation is soft.
I mean, you right. I can't even get mad. Old school, right? These boys is wild. Bruh man from the Browns went on Twitter. Man, F this dude.
Come on, dog. You feel me?
Oh, you gonna do what?
You feel me?
How you get fired on your day off?
And you lost 40K a week at minimum for somebody saying you suck.
I was talking going back and forth with my man Cowboy on Twitter, and he made a good point. He said athletes shouldn't even be controlling their social media. They should have a social media team, and I kind of piggyback that. Yeah, I think most of these athletes should have a PR team. If you can't control your emotions on social media, then get the hell off.
Mm-hmm.
Don't press send.
Yeah, because you one thing I'll tell you right now, one thing my mama told me when I got in this business, don't argue with anybody on the internet. You won't win.
That's good advice, Mom Dukes.
You won't
That's
win.
good advice.
So I said, okay, I might have some good debates. When I see them getting weird on me, I'm out.
Facts. Facts. I'll be muting the hell out of conversations on there when they start wilding out, cussing, getting personal. Oh, wait a minute now, bro. I just said Dak Prescott was good.
You feel me?
This mother
Hey, we had to do somebody like that yesterday. We had our watch party, man. We had somebody come out of left field just going hammer, blocker.
Hit him with that Matumbo.
Blocker.
Hey, y'all, we going to wrap this thing up. My Lakers is playing. Anybody got that score?
Man, y'all got lucky against my Mavs, dog. I don't know why in the hell we did not foul LeBron and just put him on the line and win the game that way.
Oh, well, Rick Carlisle.
Why didn't you foul? The game was over if you fouled him.
He's a good coach, but it might be time to
Luka and don't.
I like Luka. He's a soft, but I like him.
Man, I'm gonna address you right now because I'm glad we on air because I couldn't address you on Twitter like I wanted to.
Bruh.
Yeah, you gonna hit there and say where you was talking about soft and crybaby, and you got LeBron James on your team.
I said Luka is soft as baby shit, but he's nice.
What the hell is LeBron with all that crying? Fake falling and flippity flopping like you're a fish out of water.
He's soft too, but he a beast.
Oh, okay. Well, Luka's a beast.
He is. He's nice, but man, you know
he's a beast right now because did you see his numbers last year? You seen his numbers this year?
Yeah, he averaging almost a triple dub this year.
That's right, and our team is better.
Yeah. Look at this. Gambino talking about Davis might be going to the Bulls. What you think? He ain't going to the Bulls, man. He's coming.
He ain't going to no Bulls. Why would you leave LeBron to go to who? Where?
Leave LA.
What? Right.
To go to Chicago
with dysfunction? I don't think so.
Nah,
You're
brother.
in LA.
Gambino, he's staying, brother.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, my Mavericks are gonna give it to you. You lucky we don't have like a Gallinari. If we had a Gallinari and maybe a Steven Adams, boy, we'd be stomping through fools because all we need is a strong center, just a nasty rebounder, shot blocker.
How you feel about Dwight? He's come back in LA looking pretty good.
Well, he's in LA and he's all weird out now. So, yeah, I think he's a perfect fit. But he has been playing good. I mean, he's got nothing to lose, and you're playing with LeBron James. And LeBron James needs those type of players because he makes those – LeBron James, he makes those players better. He just does. That's why he's great.
I like the squad. I like my Cowboys squad too, Cowboys Nation. We just got to get it together. We got to get it together.
Well, I like my Mavs.
I like them too. I think they're going to be playoff bound for sure. They're one of the best teams in the West. They're just young and getting it together. That's all. Mm-hmm. That's all. Somebody did say in the comments earlier, we got a little sidetracked. They said we can't start slow, and honestly, that's the number one thing.
What's that?
You can't start slow. You can start slow against the Jets, against the Giants, and all that crap.
You know what? I'm gonna just not even say that. Ill will. I'm gonna say, not even starting slow. Stop the dumb penalties. Stop the mistakes.
Shooting yourself in the foot.
Because that's what we've been doing. When you say a lot of the times, have we really? Okay, even in the Dolphins, we started a little bit slow, but it wasn't like we started off slow. It was mistakes. We moved the ball at will on Miami. When they were playing us close, it was a turnover here. It was a turnover. It was bad plays, but we moved up and down the field. We've been moving up and down the field on teams, but it's been bad plays. As bad as we played against the Jets, like I said, we still only gave up 10 sacks in 8 games. We gave up over 50 sacks last year.
I'd make the argument, though, that turning the ball over, penalties, undisciplined, that's all part of starting slow. You can't – and shooting yourself in the foot. Shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, I'll make that argument. I agree with you. It is shooting yourself in the foot, but the result of shooting yourself in the foot, the result of that stuff is starting slow. We have to be more clean in the first half, man. You cannot keep coming out here like that.
No, not against good teams. You cannot do it. It will be the death of you, and you will sink very quickly.
Facts.
But once again, I will go back to looking at the NFC. Yes, Russell Wilson is balling out, but we can beat Seattle. I just know we can. Yes, Green Bay, they got Aaron Rodgers. They beat us, but come on. Are they indestructible? They just got smacked by San Diego. You feel what I'm saying? So when you look at the teams across the board in the NFC, we still have – I mean, we can bang with anybody. Like you said, no slow starts and disciplined football. Disciplined, smart football. And if you looked at Jason Garrett yesterday, he wasn't clapping for nothing. He had them
Good.
arms folded. He looked mad as
Good.
hell. I was cool with that. That's the first time I ever just seen Jason Garrett just look
He
pissed.
always clapping. No matter what happened, he
He
clippity
looked
clappity.
mad as hell that game, and I was
Good.
cool with that.
Good. All right, look, before we head up out of here, I want to remind you guys once again the special news, the treat we got for you guys is that Big Game James, Skywalker Steele are coming to you guys with a podcast, a fire podcast. We're going to have a lot more information on that, details in the coming days. We're excited, man. I can't tell you how excited we are to get our thoughts and everything on all things Dallas Cowboys. On a podcast for you guys to listen to at any given time on all platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Casts, all that, man. We are excited for that. So make sure y'all stay tuned. I know he's going to keep you guys up to date with it. I'm going to keep you guys up to date with it via Twitter and Facebook. And hopefully we have this thing up and going soon. It ain't going to take too much. We're putting it together for y'all. We're putting it together.
Yeah. It's going to be on and popping, as we said before. When I got in this radio biz, I love the radio, and then like I said, it's hard if you're out and about and you can't do this and you can't do that, but if you can just pop you straight in because you can't watch, that's a good clean thing. And as I said before, you might be on the late night drive and anything like that. You want to hear some good soothing voices, like for real. I ain't trying to hype our voices, but we got some pretty good voices for the radio, so it's some good, easily listening to your ears too. Except probably when I yell, when I get mad about the Cowboys, but I'll try not to do that. I'll try to be cognizant of your ears, so I will look at that.
Let me tell you something. I praise you guys on being able to do a watch party, because I'm gonna tell you something, Cowboys Nation, y'all probably hate me if y'all actually saw how I acted during the football game.
What? They love it. Hey, Skywalker, they love when they watch me do a watch party because I go nuts. I go ham. I be screaming. I be yelling. I be get him. I be cussing, all that stuff. And people just like looking at it because they probably doing the same thing I am at the TV too. So we all one big family yelling at the TV.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try, but I'll mess around. Won't have a computer after it's done. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you, I'm wild. I'm wild because I'm passionate. If you can't tell, guys, I'm passionate about.
We passionate over
what
here.
I do. I'm passionate about you guys. I'm passionate about Cowboys Nation, Dallas Cowboys, and talking about it, man. Talking about it, man. Like he said, everybody can't listen, watch this thing live. So we want to give you guys something to be able to plug in the gym, plug in the car, at
Plugging
work.
in the gym. Especially you, Hulk. You always in the damn gym. Oh, I told you, Hulk's gonna be my bodyguard. If I ever make it big, we got our bodyguard, dog. Don't worry about it. If we ever make it big with this, and we need a bodyguard, Hulk is our number one guy.
I'm writing that down. Hulk Logan.
Yeah, he's a bouncer. He will hurt you. So, and you got a name like Hulk. Come on, dog.
Hulk Logan at that.
Right. At that. Hulk Logan, come on.
Speaking of the WWE, Hulk Logan, you watch that?
Yes, I think he does because he watches all them good cartoons like old school. So I know he does.
Okay. Big WWE fan here. You might have a whole lot of drops on the podcast that refer to the WWE. I hate to say WWE. First of all, I'm a WWF.
I'm WWF. I'm I'm almost there. What? Well, Hulk Hogan, all them.
Look, Hulk said he in the gym right now.
The Iron Sheik, all them guys. Kamala, all them guys.
Kamala, Yokozuna, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Special Delivery Jones, the Junkyard.
Junkyard. Yeah, man.
I don't know the new school guys, but I'll bang that old school boy.
I know a little bit about the new school because my other boy, he put me back on a couple years ago, but I'm all about the old school Attitude Era, pre-Attitude Era, WWF.
Look, Hulk said he in the gym right now. I told you, he stay pumping the iron. Remember, Hulk, you are bodyguard. You remember that's going to be your side job. You're going to get bread from it, so don't worry about it. I got you.
We need that.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Cowboys Nation, we appreciate you guys for tuning in every week with us. It is very much appreciated. I'm gonna say it every time, without y'all, we can't do this. So, it's thank you. Bow down, thank you. Let them know where they can find you before we head out here.
Man, you can find me Big Game James, Silver and Blue Nation. You can check us out on Facebook, as I say every week. My page is really based on Facebook, my Big Game James, but I'm starting to grow on Twitter. I'm starting to get more Twitter followers.
He
That's
is.
pretty cool. Twitter's a whole different animal, a whole different monster, but it is cool. So if you'd like to follow me on there, it's at Yates James. Like I said, we do Silver and Blue Nation. We got our shows that we do on YouTube, Instagram, and we got our Twitter banging with Mr. Ryan Humford. He keeps our Twitter feed going. So, hey, if you'd like to support, please do subscribe to our page. We're trying to be on the up and up, and we're just trying to, keep it real about Cowboys football. We respect everybody's opinion, and we have a very strong opinion of our own. So please
Facts.
don't be offended when we say things. Don't get in your feelings. It's
Yeah, we're
okay.
just passionate. We're not
We just
attacking you
passionate.
guys.
We ain't tagging. We just passionate. We
Yeah,
just passionate.
facts. And you can find me on Twitter at Because Cowboys. Like you said, Twitter is an interesting place. It's fun, but it can be very informative. And I try to be informative on there, and I'm very opinionated on there. I also do breakdowns on YouTube, film breakdowns at Skywalker Steele, and give my opinions on transactions, news, things like that. I'm going to be doing a lot more content on there. I just started that YouTube page maybe 2 months ago. So and I like it. It's
already popping
yeah,
though.
YouTube's been good to me so far. So and of course here on Facebook, Will Still Senior. And once again, when we have the podcast up, we will have that for you. So thanks Cowboys Nation for tuning in. If you missed most of the content, you're just kind of getting here, you can replay this back and listen in. It was a pretty good show, man. Thank you as always, Big Game James, OG, my brother from another. I appreciate you joining me every week, and we're gonna keep bringing y'all the heat.
Feel me? And I appreciate you. I appreciate, us having this team. And like I said,
Tag
every
team.
episode we do, you gotta check my guy out. This is the new young and uppercomer. I'm telling you, I spotted the talent from a mile away. Y'all need to go on his YouTube page. He has a great film breakdown, informational, smart thoughts, football thoughts. That's what you really want. You want knowledge and power. Please go subscribe to my dog over here, Skywalker
Appreciate you.
Steele.
Appreciate you. All right, Cowboys Nation, we are going to head out. Make sure I have a good night and watch my Lakers get this dub. I get at y'all.
Boo.
Peace.